Hello, welcome to this week's edition of WCS Sports Connection. I'm your co-host, Jeremy Qualls, and with us is our resident basketball expert, Tate Mathews. Tate, we're going to start the show with a bang. The WCTV Play of the Week, and this clip's a hot one, son. Everybody's wanting it. Everybody wants a piece of the action of Josh Roberts in the WMAA Boys Championship. Check it out.
That'll just wear you down, Coach.
Yeah.
Haven't been able to get many clean.
Oh, here we go. Showtime. Send it in.
Looks like he's been wanting that all day, folks.
Yeah. Good. He picked it up at a bad spot. Oh, we got another dunk. And that time he sent it down with the left hand.
The left-handed slam, and that might just do it, Coach.
As you can see, now you know why everybody wants a piece of Josh Roberts. This guy right here is a special talent. 8th grade. How many times do you see clips like that?
That, unless it's LeBron's kid or Shaquille's kid,
well,
that's unbelievable.
Harry Lackey, last kid that we've had that could dunk in the 8th grade.
Did he dunk like that, though?
My point was we had to get to half court. We had to chop our feet. We had to make sure everything was right. Step, 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 step. You know how it used to be.
Yeah.
And make sure everything's right. This kid, man, are you kidding me? Imagine if you could fast forward right now. Grassland feeds to what high school?
Franklin.
And you put that on top of the 1-3-1.
Pretty strong. And there's some other ones on that team, too.
Yes, he's not the only one on that team.
Did I see on Twitter, did he get a tech on that first one?
He did. He did a little bit of chin up. But you know what? If I was his coach at that level in 8th grade in middle school, I'd be like, your goal is to get a technical every single
Well, but it
game.
looks like he learned. Coachable, right? He learned from his mistake, and on the second one.
There you go.
Because that was later in the game.
I'm sure.
Didn't hang on the rim. And the cool thing, I believe Grassland was AP wire to wire. They were number 1 wire to wire, correct?
Yes.
They were number 1 in the preseason polls. And they finished off number 1 with the championship. I got to see him up close and personal. He obviously is not everybody can be Jordan, right? There's got to be a Pippen and there's got to be a Rodman, but there's that is a good
You're going
team.
off into some deep territory right now.
Yeah, not everybody can be Magic. You got to have a Worthy. You got to have a Byron
It's more down to
Scott.
earth.
No.
Yeah, keep going.
You got to have a Kareem.
Yeah.
But they're impressive, real impressive.
I mean, you're comparing the Grassland Generals to the 96 Bulls. That's pretty close.
Hey, man. Undefeated?
Wire to wire. Not only that, I really think if you go back and check everything out, they might have trailed in one quarter the entire season.
I'd like to know who it was.
Brentwood Middle, I was there. 10-5.
This past game? Or in the
No,
regular
this was
season?
in the regular season at Brentwood. They win this game. Grassland over Brentwood Middle, 51-32. Coach Ray at Brentwood did a really good job all year long with his team. Did a good job in this game. It's just there's a matter of time where it kind of separates, and the cream rises to the top, if you will. But this team is super special. You know that Franklin High School is looking forward to this group coming over to go with the super softs that they already have, and Big Curl and Reed Kemp and Connor Bevan and all the other underclassmen. I can go down the list. Austin Wadzinski. There's a bunch of them over there. They're going to be really, really good. Fisher Anderson, 6'8". I mean, they got some size. They're going to have some speed. Now they got some shooting ability as well. You're looking into the crystal ball. Brentwood Middle's, moving on. Those kids are very high IQ kids, very skilled kids. It's amazing when you look at the kids today in this time frame from where you were in middle school and how many kids can be skilled, whereas you might have been the only one that couldn't do anything.
You're exactly right.
But it is pretty amazing to see the amount of skilled kids. Even at the assistant AD, Major Qualls' age, at 10 years old.
Lefty.
Those kids are skilled.
Oh, well, no question about it. Yeah, and it's just like the three-point game, right? I mean, you never hit a three-point until you got to Austin Peay State University. So now, your 10-year-old son's out there getting multiple threes in a game. So,
well, since you're implying, since being Hickman County High School graduate, go Dogs, that the three-point line didn't come into existence till about 3 years ago. We're still playing 6-on-6 on the women's side too. So, thanks for that. Let's move on.
No, I do want to know this. Seriously. You were talking about it's amazing how talented they are. We're seeing a glimpse of it this year with the Wade twins at Summit.
Absolutely.
Is Roberts, I did not see them play in middle school, but I'm just amazed at, we're getting ready to talk about it, but they're still playing. So, same kind of deal. I mean, I know he's a different player, but obviously he's a man amongst boys.
It's really tough to compare the two. It really is. The only fair comparison you can make is when he gets up onto the high school level. If he has near the impact that the Twins have at the varsity level, we'll know real quick where they rank. The Twins were head and shoulders better, just like he is in that particular role. His athleticism is off the charts, particularly in the middle school realm. You get on the varsity level, it negates it some. I mean, you got grown men in there, you're going to have to box out. Everybody can jump, everybody's fast. So we'll really see where that falls out. I'm going to be honest with you. It's really hard to compare anybody to the Wade twins. I'm not sure that I've seen any athletes come through with the impactfulness of those two guys and what they have at the varsity level, and they can't even drive a car.
That's amazing.
But they can drive to the basket and they can drive down the football field. Those two guys are special.
Yes.
And going to continue to be special. Page girls, Mill Creek girls, man, you got to look at Nolensville and Page High School in this. You're talking about two really good girls basketball teams, WMAA championship. Page girls wins 39-21. Grassland boys won 51-32 over Brentwood Middle. So here's an interesting concept. Grassland Middle, 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, freshman at Franklin, JV varsity. If you look at all that, the freshman team was second in the Metro League.
Right.
In the Metro League.
Right.
Lost a game. The JV has not lost a game. Varsity speaks for itself, all the way down, same thing, 6th, 7th, 8th for Grassland. You look at the Page middle girls, 6th, 7th, 8th, all champions. You look at the high school realm of how they've done. Obviously, we're going to talk about them in just a moment, but
well, and who does Mill Creek girls feed?
Nolensville, same way. I mean, it's pretty interesting to see how these feeder programs really, if you look at the trend data over that, there's no wonder why when they get to high school, the success that they have. So with that, without further ado, let's get straight into the high school realm. We're going to start on the AAA side, Region 6 AAA. We're going to talk about the 11 AAA side. Our side, obviously, the girls first. Brentwood, 19-10. They beat Page 61-48. They upset them in the district tournament to put them in a slot to come in third place. They won that consolation game. Lost to, pardon me, that would be Page. Brentwood lost to Dixon County in the 11 AAA district tournament championship, 61-56. They played Antioch in the opening round of the region tournament. They beat Antioch 63-44. However, they played the Battle of the Woods Part 3, and Ravenwood comes out on top 43-41. Ravenwood has beaten Brentwood 3 times this season.
3 times. That's when we were talking this weekend, that was the thing that I think a lot of people, won the seeding and thought Brentwood was probably the favorite in that game. But then you go back and look at it, and that's right. Ravenwood had beat them the 2 previous times. And so, we've talked all year long about all these different teams, and certain teams are matchup problems for other ones. Obviously, Ravenwood is a matchup problem for Brentwood, and Jazz Harmon. She scored 29 points on Friday against Hillsboro, who's an athletic team. Another 22 points this year. Another 22 points this game against Brentwood, and she was the best player on the court. And there's a lot of good players on the court. Best player on the court, and then the other thing is. She scores 22 points, 9 rebounds, and she also drew the task of guarding Emily Truschel the whole game, which is not easy to do. So
here's what you kind of saw.
Great
This is what I saw. You've got currently, when I say currently, as of this minute, maybe not overall for the past regular season, currently the best player in this region bracket on the girls' side with Jazz Harmon playing the way she played. You've got also in that game, I firmly believe, in my humble opinion, which is worth nothing, you saw the next best player that's to come. And Amelia Osgood is the next best player to come on the girls' side. She is a true talent. Sophomore, left-handed guard. She's got the size. She's got the quickness. She's got the handle. She can stroke it. She is a perfect size guard for the Division I level. Just a sophomore, 20-plus points. You go back to the Truschels, for whatever reason, I don't know that this stat's happened all year long. They go scoreless combined, and they get beat in a game 43-41.
Well, your boy Charles Pulliam said in the Herald it hadn't happened since middle school.
And you get beat 2 points to get a sub-state berth. I don't know if it's more of the thing that Ravenwood did something, or he just didn't have their night. They didn't take a whole lot of shots. I think there was only 9 combined shots total. And you got to think that there were some different players in there. The young lady on the wing, the guard, her name escapes me right now, hit 3 straight threes, 3 trips to cut this thing to tie it up.
For Brentwood?
Yes.
It was Wampler.
Thank you,
Chloe
Wampler.
Wampler.
So, you know, when Chloe's out there shooting like she is, and Osgood, when she catches the ball on the right top of the floor, she's going to go left and she's going to beat you. And she did all night long. You know, they come into factor elsewhere. But you would think at some point in time that one of those two girls with the skill level that they're really good players, are going to score. But you know what? There's a lot of youthful in that group. There's a lot of things they can take away from this. Coach Thrash, I know he's upset. Great job all year long, but we're going to take this and learn, have a chip on your shoulder. I'm going to say right now, you heard it here first.
Favorites?
Intern Lance is writing it down right now. Brentwood could quite possibly be 11 AAA champions next year.
Oh, I think they're definitely the favorites. Unless I don't know what the Dixon County girls are, but
well, they're returning some too, and they have one of their best players out right now with an injury.
Right.
Hats off to them, but we'll get to them in a minute. Page 29-5 beat Spring Hill. Got upset by Brentwood, won the consolation game, came through there, played Cane Ridge. We talked about Cane Ridge quite a bit. What a great job they do, boys and girls side. Came in 17 wins, I believe they had. You know, everybody's like, oh, this ought to be close. They end up winning that game 70-28, and you thought, okay, the Patriots, Lady Patriots are back.
That's what I thought.
They get into this game with Dixon. Now, Dixon's a really good team. These are 2 state tournament caliber teams that, unfortunately, due to the district tournament upset, now they've got to play each other. And it's really probably a regional championship game if you want to get down to it.
Well, so that answers the question. You know, some people, well, what does it really matter? All you got to do is get in the top 4, and then you move on to the region tournament, right? Well, this right here, I don't know that anybody else, which sounds crazy because they're going home and Ravenwood's not. I don't know that anybody else in this tournament could have beat Page but Dixon County. And because of that loss, then they end up drawing them in a win or go home game, right? So that's why it matters. You know, all 4 are getting in, but those seedings are big, man. I mean, nobody saw that coming, and I do. I think they can play with anybody, but for whatever reason, Dixon County poses a problem for them. They had, what, three losses on the season? How many losses on the season?
5.
5?
5 total. That game made 5.
2 of them were to East Hamilton and Riverdale. Anyways, they lost to Dixon County twice.
And 2 of them were twice to Dixon, and the combined total points of about 4 points. Now, you look at this game, Coach Brock, like I said, finishes the year 29-5. What a season. Faith Wilkin, MVP of the district, deservingly so, played an outstanding game. You know, I feel like I short-sighted her on who's playing best at this moment with Jazz Harmon. I think Faith and Jazz right there playing on top of the Purvine girl from Dixon, who's a really good player too. But you know, they're down 3, 2.8 seconds left, Tate. Ball's under their basket with 2.8 left. They run a double stack to her to the right. The only person in the gym that could make that shot on a catch and shoot, she does, puts it in overtime. And you're thinking right there at that point in time, they're going to win this game. And in full control of overtime, ball up, minute to go. They had a couple of empty possessions, and what happened was with 12.8 seconds left, Dixon gets the ball under their basket at the end of overtime and scores a bucket, and then Page is out of timeout, so they have to go the length of the floor, and they get a shot off kind of around half court, right inside the half court after it's all said and done, and come up short, get beat 63-62, man. You are 1 point short, 2 points short of going to the sub-state, getting yourself a chance to go win. Of course, you look at that group. You've got Faith Wilkin with 22 points. She's going to go to Trevecca. She's going to have a great career.
Man, they're getting a good one.
Oh, they're getting a steal. What an ambassador for WCS Sports Conference for Paige. She is going to be, I can't wait to see what her career unfolds. It's kind of funny because last night you got Kira Downey walking in the building. You want to talk about a steal that Rhodes College got. Same thing. You know, she had their Conference Player of the Week, 22 points or something like that. So I can see that happening at Trevecca with Faith Wilkin easily. So they're getting a steal.
Well, and you talk about a youth movement. You got her little sister Lily, which in Cane Ridge she had 20. Mackenzie Cochran had 15. Delaney, no, she's a junior, right? Yeah, 13. They're all coming back, and then with that team you mentioned, so the cupboard is definitely not bare. It's going to be fun to watch.
Ravenwood, the Lady Raptors, 17-11, man. They pulled off a stunning upset over Brentwood, like we mentioned earlier. They beat Hillsborough in the opening round of regional play, 49-41, to complete the 11 AAA sweep, which we all thought would happen. They beat Brentwood in the semis. They're now in the championship game. In the first round, Jazz Harmon had 29 points. She needed 30 to break 1,000 points.
Right.
And it was funny after the game because she was happy. I don't think she even knew. Her dad told me. And I went down there and I said, man, you're 1 point shy of 1,000. She's like, oh, really? Didn't even know because she's such a nice person.
Oh, yeah.
Almost to the point you're like, she's too nice on the court, but she still gets it done. You know, somebody knocks her down hard, she helps them up, or vice versa. And she's like, pats them, you know, and I'm like, it's
easy
funny.
to cheer for somebody like that.
Yes, it's very easy to cheer for her and what she does because she does everything right. But she had 22 points. She opens the game with a bucket to put her over 1,000 points. But here's the thing. Lexi Erickson, if she was not on this team, I don't know that they I don't know if they go 500. She handles the ball so well for them. She doesn't turn it over very much. She'll knock down a shot, handles the ball, gets it where it needs to be. Mary Prescott had 7. Savannah Dews did not play the opening round, played the second round, was a huge factor. 6 points, 6 rebounds. You say, what's the big deal of that stat line? Well, she's altering shots. She's 6'2", long wingspan, getting the rebounds. She knocked down 3 outside shots in a very crucial moment. Played good basketball. Taya Lee, obviously, and Hillman to go along with that group.
Well, Taya had 8. You mentioned Savannah had 6. We won by 2. They needed every 43 points. We needed them all. So you're right. They both of them played very, very big roles. You know what Jazz is going to do. You know Lexi's going to get her points too. So when those two play like that, and the rest of them, you know.
So they advance into the regional championship game against Dixon. We'll talk about that in just a moment. Nolensville Lady Knights, 23-6 currently. They beat Forest in the opening round 52-33, then beat Marshall County in the district championship 49-46 in OT. They beat Hickman County 61-33 in the opening round of region play. They played Creekwood in the semis. Creekwood is 23-6. They beat Community in that opening round 42-41. So what do you think holds the Knights back? Can this Creekwood team on the 11 AA side, is this as strong as 12 AA?
I don't think so, but it's hard to tell. You know what I'm saying? Creekwood's had a lot of success, but I don't think so. No, I like this Nolensville team, and so no, I don't think they can. They got 23 wins, but they haven't played the schedule that Nola's played. You agree?
I agree 100%. Yeah. I really do. You got to look at the Nolensville AAA side of things. I don't know that without looking at Creekwood's schedule, they might. I think they played Dixon.
Maybe.
And that might be the only team that they've played on AAA side, which is a good team. But you start looking at the quality of schedule, the strength of schedule over the course of the year, the Nolensville Knights. But you know what? They don't play it on paper. So you got to go out and you got to play that game. How well we can look at that Fairview matchup and say the same thing on the boys' side. But
we need a double-double from Baird. Leftwich needs to be around 15 points. I think we'll be okay. I think Coach Ladd will have a good game plan. I think they're fine.
On the boys' side, Brentwood moves to 23-6. If you look at this, man, these games, as this is going to be viewed, these games will have been played. So let's just talk about it because we're going to look into a crystal ball. We're either going to look like idiots, which we do every week, or we're going to look like geniuses. First off, I want to say the crowd that is going to be for this game, the atmosphere that's going to be in this game, right? Brentwood plays Hillsborough. Franklin plays Summit. Winner of each of these two games will play for the championship game, and the winners obviously get a sectional berth. This game is at Brentwood. At the current moment, there's a 1,500 seat capacity.
Yep.
We've already sold over 800 tickets online.
Yes. And you can go ahead and get ready. Franklin, the Rebellion better be ready. Well, they're going to see it tomorrow, but they better be ready because Miss Lamb is bringing
Three buses. They maxed it out at 225.
225. She's bringing 3 buses of students. They're going to get there early.
I think the Rebellion probably knows about this plan.
I hope so.
And I'm going to...
Because they're going to be rowdy.
I'm just going to tell you. But here's the problem that the problem that poses a really logistical nightmare is the fact that Brentwood plays beforehand, right?
Right.
So Brentwood's going to have a large contingent. The BHS section is going to be there. They're going to do their thing. But the Franklin people are going to get there early. And to get one section out, try to get the other section in, is going to be a nightmare. But it's a good problem to have because
if I'm already there, I want to stick around and watch that game.
That's what they said. Oh, they're going to leave. They're not going to leave. Oof. Not going to leave. Even if the Brentwood people leave or get beat, I still think they stick around.
I do too.
So,
or at least half of them. They're not going to get beat.
Well, how did Brentwood get to this section? Get to this semis of the region championships? Is they beat Cane Ridge in that opening round, which a lot of people thought Brentwood's going to get beat in this round. Not only did they beat Cane Ridge, they beat them 64-44. 20-point victory over Cane Ridge at any given time is a big win. You look at this: Harry Lackey, 18 points; John Winley, 10. Man. This Brentwood team keeps surprising everybody. I mean, they're kind of quietly going about their business, doing their thing, and still winning games. They play Hillsboro, which they played earlier in December. They won that game 44-29. I think this Hillsboro team is a little bit different than that December team.
I do too. And you mentioned the Cane Ridge thing. And the thing that I thought was really cool was they were tied at halftime. And then they ended up holding them to, which they're going to need against Hillsboro, they ended up holding them to 25% shooting in the second half and in the fourth quarter. Ended up winning by 20. That's really good defense. I don't care if it was an off night, whatever. You hold Cane Ridge to 25% shooting in the second half, fourth quarter, you're playing really, really good defense. And the other thing that I thought was cool was Brentwood shot 43 free throws. So they dominated the boards, right? And which isn't always easy against them. They play great defense. They're getting to the foul line. That's a recipe for success. And then it ends up, as the game goes on, 20-point victory. But, everybody's, well, I don't know if you said sleeping, but, thought Brentwood was going to get beat. I mean, they've won 23 games. They're playing in 11 AAA.
They're fixing to go for their second in 3 years of a sectional berth.
That's right.
Since Coach has been there. Coach Shirley's been there. Already got one state tournament appearance. I mean, it's one of these things people keep writing them off. I don't know that they've ever played the under-the-radar underdog role, but it's funny how they are in that particular role right now.
They are. And you mentioned Coach Shirley does a great job. One, he's we forget because he's been here 4 years now. But you replaced Dennis King, and outside of the first year, about the first half, 21 season. So no, they shouldn't be an underdog to anybody.
Franklin moves to 23-6. Brentwood is currently ranked number 5 in the mid-state polls. Franklin's currently ranked number 3 in the mid-state polls. They beat McGavick. A lot of people thought this was going to be a close one, and it was until about the last 10 minutes of the entire ball game where, Franklin exploded. Went on a 19-1 run to close the game.
31 points in the fourth quarter. Here's what I thought was pretty cool. All right, this is pretty scary. Coach Joins keeps saying it. I don't think we played our best game. They score 31 points in the fourth quarter. This is how explosive this team can be. They scored 31 points in the fourth quarter against a McGavick team that can play defense, right? You were there. They scored 25 in the first quarter. A lot of these teams don't score 56 points in a flipping game, right?
Right.
So, but here's the great one. You've been talking about it, and I think you even talked about it a little bit. What are we going to do about Glover? What are we going to do about Hainsworth, right? That's fine. You called it. Mr. Corner, Jordan Bruce, sits over in his corner spot. I bet every single one of them was from the right corner. Were they?
Everyone but one.
Everyone but one. He goes 7. He hit 7 3-pointers. He scored 25 points, 7 3-pointers, and 4 free throws. He doesn't shoot a 2-pointer. I think he hit 1 2-pointer last year.
Here's the key in the game.
25 points.
And I don't want to take away from Jordan Bruce. I don't want to take away from Thurman. I don't want to take away from any of them. Franklin Rebels is successful because the one piece of the recipe that everybody overlooks.
Reed Kemp.
Bar none. That kid absolutely changes the game for them.
9 assists, 9 points, 5 rebounds, 2 steals. He's a sophomore.
And how many charges taken in the middle of that 1-3-1? You don't see that stuff. People don't, or the deflections, or here we're going to trap you. Good luck. He just split the trap. Now you've got a 3-on-1 or a 3-on-2, and we dish it. It's just the facilitation. He is a consummate point guard, right? And I think his value is so underrated by people. Well, he's not scoring a lot of points. He don't have to score a lot of points. Look at what's around him. But when he shoots it, his percentage is so high. When he shoots it, it's a good shot, and usually it goes in. So,
hey, one more. Also, you're a big Curl fan, Thurman. His daddy played for Rick Byrd. You think Rick Byrd would have liked us? He went 8 for 8 from the floor, 4 for 4 free throws.
Efficient.
Sophomore.
Efficient.
Golly.
Ravenwood.
Who's the shooting coach over there? Coach Anderson? I know it's not Davenport. Can't be.
Ravenwood goes into a game as the 4 seed coming in after Summit beat them in that consolation game in the 11 AAA district tournament. They lose in the regionals to Hillsborough in that opening round, 57-48. This game was really close. It got out of hand, and then they clawed their way back in it. They played a hack-a-shack rules to get their way back in it, started hitting some threes. Chase Siebert, obviously Sterling Craig, good careers for Coach Patrick Whitlock. Can't hang your heads on that. With the team coming in and beating Centennial in the opening round of district tournament, get yourself in the regionals is a pretty good year.
Yeah, unbelievable run they had in the district tournament, and Coach Whitlock said it, if this game gets to 50 or more, we're in trouble. It did, and Coach Thweet does a great job at Hillsborough. They are a team that's usually in the state tournament mix every year. They know how to win. They know how to compete. He prides himself on being tough, and they got down 14-3 in the first quarter, and that was too much. There was no way they were coming back from that. But Chase Siebert, 16 points, finishes off the season as usual, leading them in scoring. He had because of some of the other things in the record, it kind of flew under the radar, but he had a great season.
Summit quietly working their way up the ranks here. They got themselves above 500. Nobody's even paying attention to them. But let me just tell you, if you haven't seen them play or don't know who the kids are, you better get ready because the next 3 years they're going to become
I know who's paying attention to them.
Household names. Who is?
Franklin.
Absolutely. And why is that?
Because they've had to beat them on last-second shots twice this year.
61-59, 51-49.
That's right.
And 71-59 are the 3 games that separate them. First 2 games, obviously, by 2 points, 4 combined points. Summit beat Ravenwood in the consolation game. They opened up with Overton, pretty much did their game. They like to keep it ugly, muddled up. It's one of those things, it's not fun to watch, but you're thinking this game, probably down. You look up and they're leading the game, 50-39. Held Overton to 39 points in a regional matchup game. 11 AAA goes 3 out of 4. I think that's pretty impressive, and 7 out of 8 total for girls and boys combined.
It was very impressive. And I think that's what you thought you'd see on the boys' side. You knew the Ravenwood over Hillsborough was going to be hard. And as soon as we saw that Overton was the matchup for Summit, we knew Overton was in trouble. And so 3 for 4 coming out of there. I think, you won all 4, but you got to be very happy about that. And Summit, man, all they wanted was another shot at them. They're getting it. And
yes.
I don't know, man. Keaton Wade had 16 points and 13 rebounds. His brother had 12. Playing really, and like you said, they can, I don't know if it's keeping it muddled up and ugly. I think they play really good defense. They held Overton to 15 points in the first half. So all you can ask for is another shot, and they're getting it.
Another shot. On the 6AA side, Nolensville just keeps trucking. I think that strength of schedule, we kept talking about that about Coach Ladd and the girls. On the Nolensville side, that gets them battle tested. When you get deep in the region, that strength of schedule comes into play. You've played tough teams. You've been in close games. Nolensville wins, beats Creekwood 60-48. They beat Marshall County again 71-66 to win the district championship. Their next up is Camden. He's telling me about what do we know about Nolensville?
Well, I think when you look at them, you mentioned that schedule, they're tough. I mean, you know what I'm saying? And hey, Q, B. Wirt here. B. Wirt, Wes Lambert taught him everything he knows, right? We're going to defend, rebound. We're going to play defense.
That's right.
Not always going to shoot well, right? If you get it, you get it. If you don't,
the Blackman blueprint. We got it.
The Blackman blueprint. But I think he's taken that and kind of put his twist on it, but I do. I think they're tougher. I think that's the big thing with Nolensville. Obviously, they got a great player in Blade Orn and some others, but he's played a tough schedule. They play tough defense and rebounding, in which that's tournament basketball. So, yeah, man, I think Nolensville was a big part of it. Creekwood, they got hit in the mouth.
Just for the record, it's a Nolensville blueprint, I think. I think Coach Lambert's doing a good job.
No doubt about it.
I mean, it really has.
Hey,
Nathan Fouch.
Q, I taught you at Hickman County. I taught Lambert at Blackman.
Fairview, 28-3. What a year Trey McCoy's had. It's unfortunate that this thing has to come to an end. After winning 14 straight games, the Fairview Yellow Jackets get beat in the opening round of region play by Murfreesboro Central Magnet, 58-44. You have to think, man, I'm not gonna play the blame game, but let's look at this. The weather comes down. You're slated to play on Friday, or excuse me, on Saturday. everybody out of all the teams that we had to move this thing for, 9, I think 10 total teams, all of a sudden Rutherford County says we're not playing. So then that's the only county that wouldn't let them play. So now we had to shift things around. They get pushed back to a Monday night. We can't point fingers, okay, because we're playing at home. It's just one of those things that happens, man. You've got to be prepared every single game. This is one of those deals where it's just you can't explain it. It's just you didn't play well. It's a bad night not to play well. Trent Turner had led them in scoring all year long, average-wise around 18, 19 points a game, held scoreless. It kind of go back to the Trussell situation, right? Even if you get your average, you win the game. I'm not putting it on Trent Turner. I think he's had a phenomenal year, and the Jackets have had a phenomenal. It's just a bad time to play bad. But that's what the tournament is, man. You don't have any nights that you can take off.
No, without a doubt. And Central Magnet had a lot to do with that. I mean, they had a game plan to try to take Trent out of the game, and they did.
I was just wanting to see this Nolensville-Fairview matchup in the regional championships. Guaranteed 2 sectional berth guys from WCS Sports Conference to see finally who's the best of that AA group between those two. If that would have happened, he would have come in with 30 wins on the season.
30. I'd have been unbelievable. And I think, you look at it all year, and it's fun to watch. It's kind of like that great Creekwood team. I'm not comparing them, but
exactly.
The one thing, if anything, Fairview missed was maybe a post guy, like a Bladehorn. And their big man, I believe his name's Laird, Steph Laird, 28 points down low for them. I mean, again, I don't think it happens if they play it again, but it did. You
don't have to do it but one time.
That's right. It did on the wrong night.
Hats off. 28-3, Fairview. I would dare say that's got to be some type of record as far as wins in Fairview history. I know Coach McCoy doesn't go for that, the moral victories, but what a year they've had. All right, let's get to
real quick. And then I saw a quote he had on Twitter. This wasn't just a team. They've laid the foundation for a program. And I 100% agree. There's a big difference, and they've
middle school team won the conference, by the way, conference championship.
There you go.
So
we haven't heard the last of the Yellow Jackets.
All right, let's look at this week's capsules. Here we go. 6AA, Nolensville versus Creekwood. This is the girls' side. The winner will get Stewart County, Marshall County. Winner on this other side in the championship. This is a semifinal round game. Nolensville, Creekwood. Creekwood's 23-6. Go.
Nolo. Coach Ladd's going to have them ready. Grace Baird, double-double.
I agree. Nolensville wins this game. 6 AAA, Ravenwood versus Dixon. They've lost three consecutive games to them. 54-34, 49-43, 60-52. Everything's got to go perfect.
I would say you hate to pick against Ravenwood and Coach Harris because all they do is prove you wrong, right? But I guess the same thing with Coach Webb in Dixon County. I did not know this until earlier last week. I read an article. She got that job so late, she didn't even have spring practice with them. She didn't have summer practice with them. I think Dixon County, it took all year to get here, but I think they're playing really good basketball. I got to go with Dixon County. But it doesn't matter because Ravenwood's moving on anyways.
And if you look at that crystal ball looking forward, sectional possibilities will be Lebanon or Mount Juliet. You have to think that Lebanon's going to be the loser in that game. So that means the winner will host Lebanon. Loser will have to go to Mount Juliet, which will be a tall task, but it can be done.
And that's what Ravenwood did last year, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. And where'd they end up, Coach?
They ended up in the first round, opening round of the TWA AAA state championships.
That's right.
On the boys' side, 6AA, Nolensville versus Camden. Do the Camden faithful have a shot at all of winning this game at East Hickman?
No. Does Camden have a chance?
Yes.
No. Nolensville's too good.
Absolutely. Well, you took long enough there. I couldn't tell where you were going to go.
Well, the East Hickman threw me off. But
here's what's going to happen. It's going to be a
I don't know. Hey, what's the address of East Hickman anyways? A little trivia Tuesday.
Eagle
Wednesday.
Way off Highway 7.
What's the town?
Bonacqua, Laos.
No, Laos. That's right.
I mean, you're asking me trivia about Hickman County?
Laos.
Possible matchups, East Nashville, Maplewood, MLK, Pearl Cone. 2 of those will be out. 2 of those will be in.
Who do you think are in?
Pearl Cone, East Nashville, without even looking at the brackets.
Strong.
I'm assuming they don't have to eliminate each other. I don't know without the brackets. I know they're the final 4 teams.
Assuming they don't.
Pearl Cone East plays. East Nashville wins it. Nolensville will host Pearl Cone. How about that?
That'll be a game, man.
Woo. Marshall County will travel to East Nashville. That's my prediction in the 6AA region. 6 AAA region, Brentwood, Hillsboro boys. Go.
Brentwood.
That's strong. You came out strong on that.
I
hope you're right.
Not even a hesitation.
I hope you're right.
about
Now,
it.
I mean, obviously, you know who I want to win. This game scares me. I watched Hillsborough play the opening round. They looked
Double
really,
digits.
really good. But Brentwood keeps doing what they're doing. I think their length bothers Hillsborough. They won't get some of the baskets that they got in that game. Hillsborough in a Brentwood in a close one.
And Hillsborough's good at dominating the boards. I don't think they can do that against Brentwood. I think Brentwood wins double digits. I really
And
do.
for the nightcap, Franklin versus Old Sparty.
Round 4, it's like Rocky 4.
Yes. Can they knock off the Rebels?
They can.
But will they?
Hey man, we saw the first two. I saw the one at Summit. I mean, it was they had it. It came down to a last second shot. So, heck yeah, they can. Kind of like what you've talked about and what Coach Whitlock talked about with Ravenwood. I mean, this game needs to stay in the 50s. It gets up to 70s.
Not going to happen.
It's not good.
Not going to happen. But you're
But
right.
can they? Yeah.
If they
Would I
keep it-
pick them? No.
If they keep it within the 50s, absolutely, it could be Heartbreak City. I just don't think they do it. I think they're playing way too well
I know
right
what
now.
Coach Goodwin's not going to do.
What's that?
We're not going to leave Jordan Bruce over here all by himself in the corner.
I'd say you're going to see some doubles off Reese Glover. Get rid of it. The offside, though, will not rotate over off of Bruce. You got to keep that there. So Jordan and Kemp, the duo, one of the two are going to have to pick up that scoring load. So,
Can you imagine if you mix those players, though? Wow.
So you've got Franklin. So you got Franklin Brentwood in a championship match.
Yep.
Sectionals, Station Camp, Northeast, Mount Juliet, Gallatin. Who are the two coming out of there? Mount Juliet, Northeast. Loser will have to go to Mount Juliet. Winner will host Northeast.
Assuming Mount Juliet wins that region, correct? Is
That means if Mount Juliet beats Gallatin, Station Camp beats Northeast. My prediction, Northeast, Mount Juliet final. Mount Juliet wins the region.
I agree.
That means loser of the championship game on our side will have to go to Mount Juliet. Winner will host Northeast.
And the crazy thing about that is, I think that we saw it last year. Mount Juliet's not going to lose. That was an upset for Mount Juliet to lose that region last year, put them
won't do it
on
this
the
year.
road to Franklin. That's not happening this year. The Beekeeper's not going to let that happen. So I think Brentwood and Mount Juliet is a better matchup than Franklin Mount Juliet. Is that
Yeah, physicality.
Yep.
Size. I agree. And in closing, I'm going to say this. Mount Juliet's, I think, ranked number 2. Number 1 to Mid-State, followed by 17 private schools, and then Franklin and Brentwood's counted. Because we got to make sure that we got 12 or 14 losses from the same team out of a 17 pool. But whatever. I'm not going to be bitter at that.
Is this Qualls quick takes?
It's Qualls' quick takes.
I like it.
Dropping dimes for you.
Hey, dimes.
Anyway, thanks for joining us. If you're still watching,
Be different.
thank you. Thank you so much for staying with us. Hey, we'll see you next week.